NBC Golf Channel on EA Sports, in association with the PGA Tour, proudly presents the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live opening round coverage of the Arizona Summer Classic. Set in the Sonoran Desert and surrounded by the majestic McDowell Mountains, we're at the stadium course at TPC Scottsdale in Arizona. Hello again and welcome. Rich Loader alongside Frank Nobilo, set to bring you all the action for today's event. Frank, when you think about the TPC Scottsdale, what's the first thing that comes to your mind?
The golf course has been radically changed in 2014, but it still hasn't lost its luster. Really, it's just been updated like the game itself for these young, strong players of the modern era.
Back over to number 7. Frank, nothing spectacular to this point in the first round. What does the player need to do just to kind of generate some momentum?
I actually think they're playing all right, Rich. It's just, you compared to the top of the leaderboard, you start to think, well, maybe they're struggling. But there's ebbs and flows in this game. At the moment, it's just sort of almost like a holding pattern. But it's time to change that.
Seems to like it. Looks like it's headed for the green. That will be a great look at birdie. Really not much to this. The only issue would be a lack of concentration or focus.
Sneaking into contention here with that birdie.
Top 15 now on the leaderboard. Now here at the par 4 8, slight dogleg to the left, Frank.
And this dogleg's made more severe now by the addition of 2 bunkers. This was a bunkerless hole off the tee in years gone by, but those 2 bunkers certainly make this a sharper dogleg. And because it forces the player to go down the right side, adds length to the already long 475 yards.
This is when the game is fun, Frank, when you get one high in the air and you have a down breeze and you just watch it stays in the air forever.
Yeah, the hang time on that.
That is an excellent play right there. The approach, giving him another good look. Not a gimme, but well within his range. That was a good-looking putt, just not falling right now.
Sadly, he's going to be disappointed.
So a tester from 4 feet. Holding steady now at 2 under par. Here at the par 4 9th hole, Frank, what's the strategy off the tee?
Well, there's one bunker down the right side that you have to be very wary of. 325 yards to carry that, so it's very much in play, and just over 290 to reach it. Ideally, you have to go left about that down the left side. But really, this is a second shot hole because this green is not very deep.
Paying attention like a little kid at school, Frank. That baby's sitting up.
Sitting up? It's got the best view as well. You don't even need binoculars from where that ball is.
Frank, this is a position where a player is absolutely licking his chops here. Good chance to make a birdie.
Yeah, this is when this game just looks like fun. The bunkers don't seem to be in play. The only thing you're really looking at right now is just the flag.
Well, that's how you play the game. Right there. Eyeing this putt for a birdie. Once considered the best player at the college level, our featured golfer makes birdie, sitting comfortably inside the cut line. Well, that was a nearly flawless performance on the front side, but Frank, we know it's an 18-hole game, isn't it?
That's right. Now's not the time to pat yourself on the back. What a great shot.
Wow, Frank, look at that one. How it just blistered that tee shot.
Well, that has to be 325 if it's an inch.
Ready for his second shot, trying to knock it on the green. Good swing, good shot yet again. I mean, really on top of his game right now. That was a splendid approach shot. Oh, man.
Just pushed it.
Boy, that hurts. This one just requires a little bit of focus. Workmanlike hole. He walks away with a par. On to the par 4 11th hole. Frank, what's the best play here?
No bunkers really here to worry about, Rich, so you have to pick something in the distance as a good line. Something a little bit away from the water that protects the left side of this fairway. And it's adjacent to the 15th hole, the other par 5 coming home. So a good drive, perhaps with a little bit of cut off the tee. And that should shape up nicely for this long par 4.
Settles in, looking to knock it in tight. This has just been an outstanding performance in strong winds. To play this well, impressive. Early part of this back nine and a good approach shot. And now we'll have this for birdie.
No, it's that sneaky distance.
Oh, I thought he had that. Just a little too much juice on that birdie putt, Frank.
It was bold, very bold.
Just a couple of feet. Knocks that putt in for par to stay at 3 under. That's the end of round 1, and we saw a lot of good golf out there today, Frank.
And it was a bonus to anyone that got off to a good start today.
NBC Golf Channel on EA Sports, in association with the PGA Tour, proudly presents the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. It's second-round coverage of the Arizona Summer Classic. Here at the TPC Scottsdale in Arizona, and Frank, when so many people tune in to watch this great event, they think immediately of the 16th hole, with all of those fans jammed in. It's like Fenway Park inside the desert there. But it's much more than that little par 3, isn't it?
It certainly is more than that, Rich. The TPC Scottsdale is a great venue for a PGA Tour event. It's a blend of everything. Birdie opportunities, holes that are fraught by water, bunkering that's been changed. All in all, it's a great atmosphere with nearly 500,000 people that visit this during the tournament week.
Now at the par 5 15th, and Frank, there is plenty to catch your eye. There's also quite a bit to catch your ear. You can hear the roars at the par 3 16th. So how do you focus on the task at hand?
Great question, Rich. You realize you're about to enter the stadium part of the golf course. But this is the last par 5 that you're going to play. We've seen eagles here over the years. We've seen many a player hit it in the water off the tee or water short of the green. Certainly one of the tougher tee shots coming in. No bunkers here to worry about, just that huge lake to the left. Find the fairway. You might just find the green. Surely not.
Didn't check, Frank.
Yeah, just not enough spin on that. Really, that almost took that first bounce and just ricocheted forward.
Playing his third here at the par 5. Oh my goodness, he just made that. I cannot believe it.
I was thinking he might get it close. In? Just a great shot.
Frank, the one moment that sort of made the 16th hole what it is today would have to be Tiger's ace in 1997 here at the TPC Scottsdale when it was raining plastic cups.
It was also his reaction too, and that ushered in the Tiger Woods era that we became associated with, which is the fist pumping, the rowdy spectators. He was one of the few players that bridged the gap between spectator and golf course. And it still goes on till today. And I think Rory McIlroy probably is the only other player that starts to broach that type of inside and outside atmosphere with golf.
Still to this day, it's the loudest single moment that I can ever remember hearing on a golf course.
Well, birdies are hard to come by in this situation. So tight.
Keeps him right in the thick of it. Now to the 17th, and Frank, fair to say this is one of the best short par 4s in all of golf?
It is. The drivable par 4 that's designed the way it's meant to be played is a winner. The ones that are just shortened to be made drivable, they don't work. This was designed to be a 17th hole, and it was designed to be drivable. You couldn't get a better place, and you couldn't get a better par 4.
Well, they claim it's a reachable par 4. We haven't seen a whole lot of people do it today. We just saw it right there. Well done. A good 20-footer here. You couldn't ask for much more than that, except to make it. Locked in on the read and the speed. Bang for another birdie. 8 under par for the tournament.
Rich, 18 was always considered a long finishing hole.
Not for J.B. Holmes.
Yeah, the water was always in play. And then the day he took it over the left side and carried everything and went on to win, that completely changed the way this golf course played ever since that day.
And it resulted in some of the changes we're seeing now.
Yeah, evidence, the new bunkering down the left side. But it showed us all how much and how strong these guys are, how much they've improved over the years. This looks like it's going to find the target.
That is how it's done right there. What an approach shot. Shouldn't be a problem here. Really hitting on all cylinders now. 9 under for the tournament.
Well, Rich, 2 rounds in the books, and it's easy to see why the leaders are on top of that leaderboard.
Excellent performance, but still a long ways to go in this tournament. NBC Golf Channel on EA Sports, in association with the PGA Tour, proudly presents the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live third-round coverage of the Arizona Summer Classic. Simply put, there is nothing like it in the game of golf. It is by far the biggest spectator event in the sport. We're at TPC Scottsdale in Scottsdale, Arizona. Hello again and welcome. Rich Lerner alongside my friend and colleague Frank Nobilo. And Frank, what can you tell us about this golf course?
Well, everybody wants to know about 16, the famed par 3 here, surrounded by those skyboxes. Once again, that'll be a topic of the day. But really, this is a regular sight for the PGA Tour. So those of you that were familiar with the golf course, it's now changed. 2014, the designers Morris and Weiskopf did a massive renovation.
Well over 100,000 fans every day, better than 500,000 for the week. It's a giant party mixed in with a heck of a tournament. Frank, that is position A.
Yeah, the tee shot was like silk, Rich. I mean, just sets up that second shot so beautifully.
Well, this could be good. That was a big, bold strike, and now a chance for a big, bold move. Putt for eagle coming up. Just needs to keep it steady here over the putt. Wow, Frank, I did not expect that. Eagle. Par 4, 14th. Frank, it seems as though you'd be pretty happy with a par here.
You would, even though the putting surfaces here at TPC Scottsdale are excellent. It's going to take 2 good shots to reach this 14th hole. You can get in a little bit of trouble off the tee. That bunker on the left very much in play. The rough on the right side is no snack either, because the ball, more often than not, will finish well above the player's feet. And of course, that green is very, very narrow, well protected by bunkers on the left.
Well, he's going to have to hit the same club a lot harder or just hit another one. Well, this one should be safely on deck here. Well, that is a ball-striking clinic right there. Another dazzling approach shot. Pretty close. Made par yesterday. This one for birdie. Racking them and stacking them. That's 12 under par now for the tournament. Great scoring opportunity here at the par 5 15th. But Frank, I'm wondering, as a player, is your mind beginning to think about what's ahead at that par 3 16th hole?
Oh, they are. This is really the finishing stretch at TPC Scottsdale, where you get all these swing holes. 15 is a swing hole. 16, 17, and 18, where so many changes in the score can actually happen. But this one here is all about finding the fairway. A good drive down here will be well rewarded, because you'll have a chance to reach this par 5 and 2.
And a chance for eagle after that perfectly played shot.
Really. This is that awkward length.
That was a good-looking putt, just not falling right now.
No, sadly, he's going to be disappointed.
This would be a huge momentum swing. This one's for birdie. Mark that as a birdie on the card. Well, here we are at the 16th hole, looking at just over 160 yards. Doesn't seem all that daunting, Frank. But 160 yards with 20,000 people, horned into a little stadium in the desert, that makes it a different story.
It certainly is. This was one hole, too, where Tom Watson would send his caddy forward. He would stay back by 15. His caddy would get his yardage. Watson would simply walk on the tee. His caddy would give him the club. He would not go through his normal routine. He would simply just head away. It was one hole that he never wanted to think about. It might look simple, but it's what the player feels. Rich, that just adds insult to injury to the rest of the field. Another birdie, and the gap even wider.
A sensational performance. Frank, when you get to the 17th hole, we always recall maybe the single most bizarre shot in the history of golf.
Yeah, everybody talks about maybe a hole-in-one at 16, but really 17. And the player was Andrew McGee. It was a good tee shot, don't get me wrong. But Rich, it needed an assist.
Well, the assist came from Tom Byram, whose brother Kurt is a commentator for the Golf Channel. Tom Byram was just minding his own business, standing on the green, sort of leaning on his putter, and you know what happened. Yeah, the ball hit Tom Byram's putter and then careened into the hole. So, 17. Made famous a little bit of history with a couple of names to drag up from the past. So the Eagle goes begging. He still has this for birdie. This hole's been good to him. Birdie yesterday, trying for another one today. Putting on a show, this tournament moves to 15 under par. Well, again, the fairways are lined with those huge galleries coming off 16 and 17. Now the finishing hole here at TPC Scottsdale. And Frank, what can we expect? Well, this is a goodie. It'll play slightly as a dogleg left. Now, many a year, a player would try and carry the ball all the way over that water down the left side, but those new bunkers down there, it stopped the J.B. Holmes attack on this par 4. You're really going to have to play a little right of those now, and there's a couple of bunkers up on the hill to stop you doing that. So this is really a much tougher tee shot. 440 yards of par 4 just got a little bit more difficult. This one looks like it's headed right for the middle of the dance floor, Frank. Rather nice shot, I would say. Oh, can't hide the flagstick from that man. Really not much to this. The only issue would be a lack of concentration or focus. Just an amazing display. The records continue to fall. Frank, in golf, there's nothing quite like the final round of a hotly contested championship, and this one could be a doozy. And there's nothing quite like that leaderboard I'm looking at right now. We are going to have some amazing golf. This one is going to have to be won. NBC Golf Channel on EA Sports, in association with the PGA Tour, proudly presents the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's the final round of the Arizona Summer Classic. Welcome to the Stadium Course, TPC Scottsdale in Arizona. It's a masterful blend of challenge and playability designed by the team of Tom Weiskopf and Jay Moorish. Rich Lerner alongside Frank Novelo for EA Sports. The changes, Rich, they made in 2014 have just added a luster to this great venue that hosts the PGA Tour event each and every year. And it's a great test for any level of play. Par 4 14th, and Frank, this hole packs a little punch, doesn't it? Yeah, the addition of just a little bit more yardage, plus the bunker on the left has been pushed out into the fairway, actually makes the hole play a little bit longer than its 490 yards. Second shot is a little bit uphill. No longer is there a bunker on the right side. That side of the green is actually open. You don't really want to be trying to miss that green on the right. Should you decide to go at the flag, well, you're going to have to carry that front bunker. Midway through this back nine, could use this birdie here at the 14th. So coming off the birdie on the previous hole, a chance now for yet another one. And momentum all in his favor. makes the putt for a birdie. All right, Frank, now the fun begins. We are teed up at the par 5 15th hole. Plenty to talk about here.
Yeah, the fairway down the left side is anything other than straight. It's more like a shipwreck, the raggedness of it. And that water in play, well, if you do find one on the fairway, you can sort of always wave across to the people that are walking down the 11th hole. Find the fairway, you can reach this par 5 and 2. A little bit of an island-looking green there, bunker on the left, and also another bunker just short right. But a fairway missed here. Well, you can rack up 5, 6, 7. We've seen all sorts of scores here at 15.
Stuck the follow-through right there. This could be really good. Well, it's obvious he is in complete command of his golf ball right now. Getting set now over the putt. No problems there.
And it keeps the round going, keeps the momentum on his side.
Well, partner, here we go. Players have characterized it as terrifying, chaotic, amazing. The stadium atmosphere here at this hole, the 16th of par 3, is really spectacular, isn't it, Frank?
It is. Because of the atmosphere, the number of people, this is the closest a golfer gets to like kicking a field goal in a Super Bowl. It's just surrounded by people. It's not really the difficulty of the hole. Just over 160 yards, a modest par 3. There's no water in trouble. But it's an atmosphere that golfers never normally are familiar with.
Birdie try again here today. Had a nice birdie on this hole yesterday. Continues to putt beautifully. Frank, 16 was fun. 17 is always exciting here at TPC Scottsdale.
You've got to be careful because that water that sort of goes around the left side of the green, if that ball's coming in with a little bit of hook, it's just going to keep going left. There's the one bunker you really have to focus on. That's the one in the middle of the fairway. 280 will carry that. Chances are the ball can run onto the green. It takes a brave man really to try and fly this ball all the way there. It's not really needed because there's always another 10 or 15 yards of run. Factor that in.
Needs a pair of binoculars to see the hole. That was not a very good read right there. These putts keep the round together. Continues to amaze. Yet another birdie, and what a day it's been. Frank couldn't ask for anything more.
Just the lie there, too. It is sitting up like it's teed up.
Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special. There's a big green, and they're going to use every inch of it.
Wow, Frank, he is dialed in.
Yeah, that was just some shot on that. Easy birdie.
You don't want to let this one get away. This is about concentration and focus at this point. You always like that. Count it as a birdie. Just a great putt and a great win.